Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 of the OCFA Red Zone. Today it is also day 2 of the play-ins, and today we have the Chicago Chargers against the Atlanta Titans. I'm not entirely sure right now, I didn't write down what seed they are, but what I am sure of is that they are both really good rosters with a lackluster record. So how's it gonna go? Well, let's analyze these teams together for this episode of the Red Zone. So, first thing we're going to do is look at the rosters. And what more important position is there in a roster than the quarterback position? We have EjGoCrazy as the quarterback for the Atlanta Titans, and he's going to be going against Bobbert Take the Wheel for the Chicago Chargers. And between those two, we all know EJ is number 3 currently in the stats right now. He has 3,000 yards. Actually, he has the 4th most yards, I believe. No, the second. He has the second most yards in the league with 3,193 rather. He has a good percentage. He has, I believe it is the 3rd best percentage right now, 69%, nice, and 37 touchdowns. And honestly, he's doing really well this season. Actually, he has the most completions in the season. And compared to Bobbert, he almost set a record for the most interceptions thrown in a game. He set the record for this season. I'm not sure if it got broken eventually. And then got released from the comments. Now he's picked up by the Chargers, and I mean, he's been doing pretty well there in the Chargers, so they have a chance, but I do believe EJ is the better quarterback between the two. Then we have descriptions and Menlin as CDEs, center DEs, and between those two, statistically, Menlin is the better center. I mean, he has had way more experience. He's had 56 drives and only 9 sacks to his name. But then again, that number does seem a bit high compared to Descriptions, who only has 3. But then again, he also has had 31 drives. So it's a bit hard when both of the centers have had like a massively different amount of drives. But I do believe that Descriptions is a little bit better than Menlin, just because I've seen them both in a lot of center DEs and I've seen them in 8s, and I just think Descriptions has a little bit more skill in the center position. Now, as for DE, I'm not sure. I think they're both pretty equal, but what really matters, who really hits the punch in rushing, is the TEDE matchup that we have of JJ Vick for Atlanta against Feel. And now, in the tight end position, I'm putting Feel. All right, he's been doing very good this season. However, JJ Vick in the DE position kind of showed up out of nowhere. He's in 5th right now. He has 4 sacks, 2 safeties. He's doing great. He has 2 swats, including a SWAT 6. He definitely could be an All-American defensive end. So it's a bit hard between these two, but I do think JJ Vick just is a little bit better than Feel. But next matchup we have is 88 Crom, who was, I believe, short of the year. I don't know if it was TE of the year or short of the year last season against Malik, M5 Malik. And between those two, it's not even close. It's Crom. I mean, he's been playing amazing this season. He almost got caught the other day, but that wasn't, he just couldn't get himself suspended. So, and that just goes to show, if he's getting screen shared, that just shows that he is on a level that other players are not, all right? So I'm putting Crom over there. Then probably one of the most stacked matchups is the free safety wide receiver matchup of Rosewood for Atlanta against Cormac / Flair from the Chargers. Now, I'm a little bit biased. This is biased media. I'm a little bit biased to Flair, all right, because he does a different type of wide receiving as Rosewood. He can go deep and catch everything, but he also does a lot more picks. However, I am going to give it to Rosewood, who is doing amazing defensively this season and is first place for wide receiver stats, easily going to get wide receiver of the year. Rosewood just beats this part. I can't ignore the books. And like, he is a good player in general. So we have Rosewood there. Next, we have wide receiver and another DCB, and those are SX Frey for the Chargers and Tay, Isolated Tay for the Titans. Now, over here, who am I putting up? I'm putting Isolated Tay. He is right there with Raz for DCB of the year. He's definitely going to get All-American First Team. He's being picked up next season by what looks to be a Tier 1 team. And like, Frey's been doing good as well. Don't get me wrong. Frey is doing well. But against Isolated Tay, I'm putting Isolated Tay on top for this one. So, sorry, not sorry. MLBs now. Wide receiver MLB. We have Team Dur, also known as Bippin, for the Chargers against Avery for the Titans. And here I'm also picking the Titans player. I'm putting Ave because Ave has been honestly one of the most annoying players to go against on defense. He has the name the Gripper for a reason, because he's going to put his hands on you and he is going to grip you like his life depended on it. So Avery, he's also, I believe he has one of the top in interceptions, if I am not mistaken. Yeah, he has 4 interceptions, including a pick 6, which not a lot of players do have this season. So it would just be like a sin to not say that Ave is doing well this season. Next, we do have Colden, and he dissed at wide receiver. And here I'm going to put Colden up because he's just a toss-up warrior. He can catch every toss-up thrown his way. And he's also winning in the short CB. He's going against Bobbert as a short, and he's just always winning that. We're going to talk more about that later. And lastly, DCB, we're bringing back EJ and Hedist. And I'll put Hedist up there because EJ's good, but Hedist has just been... They both have the same number of ints, but there's a reason why people aren't trying to throw in Hedist's side. So, honestly, when we look at both of the rosters, Titans does have a little bit better of a roster. But another thing we do have to consider is what I like to call the Chicago curse, the 1L, 1W. And that is that every 2 games that they have, one of them is a win and one of them is a loss. This has been true since the first week, where they lost the first game and the next game they won. And then it kept going win, loss, loss, win, win, loss, win, loss. It just kept going like that. They are currently on a loss. So if it's real, they are set to win tonight. However, I feel like the offense on the Titans is too strong. They might be the first team and only team to break the curse and make them lose 2 times in a row. So, rather, make them lose two games. You know what I mean, all right? Because they lost their, I believe... I don't know. But they did lose it, so they are currently supposed to win, I guess. Supposed. But yeah, Titans offense is very strong, but they are going against one of the better defensive teams, which will be a fun game to watch. But like I said, Titans also have a monster defense. It's still surprising to see that they have fallen all the way to Division 4 because they lost to Maelstrom. Maelstrom? I don't know. They lost to Maryland, and then Maryland's team fell apart after HWTM, I think, left. And then it was good, but it wasn't as good as it could have been. But, yeah, I think that the Atlanta Titans are the team to watch out for. However, that is not to say from me. Let's hear it from Titans quarterback EjGoCrazy. Now, we have EJ on the line right here. And EJ, early on this season, you were considered one of the top teams, defeating the Reapers in possibly the best game of the season. And then you ended up in Division 4. So I'm going to ask you what I asked Kendrick last interview. What went wrong and how did you fix it for the play-ins?
We lost to the Maelstrom by, I think, around 20-something points, which did put us lower in PD compared to other teams, which landed us in D4. But instead of complaining and we stayed united as a team during that time, we took advantage of the opportunity and we won our games. Even though we lost to the Ballhogs, we were able to land a spot to compete for a chance to go to the playoffs. So I guess what we fixed was we stayed together as a team, played like a team, and still believing in the team got us to where we need to be today.
Yeah, I would certainly agree. A lot of teams, after losing badly, would just fall apart, and your team was one of the only teams that had the chemistry to stick together, even against a loss, and now you're in the play-ins. Hopefully you make it into the playoffs, but let's see how that goes. Speaking of that, I won't ask for specifics, but how do you plan to counter the Chargers' play style?
Ways that we plan to counter the Chargers' play style is basically by really just playing as a team and starting off early. Myself as the quarterback, had to hit all my passes tonight. Can't overthrow, can't throw with no interceptions. Had to play a perfect game tonight on defense. We got our gym, no going for ints, play together, and communication, and that's how we can win tonight.
Yeah, it looks like seems like you're running a tight ship over there. Any concluding words about how you think this game's going to go?
Yeah, I feel like Chargers, they're a very incredible team all around. They have a good quarterback, blocking core, our receiver core. Their defense is really good as well, so it's going to be a very challenging game tonight. So I'm excited to see how it goes.
All right, and I think we all are. Thank you, EJ, for the interview, and we wish you good luck on the game tonight. Now, who do I think is winning this game? I believe it is going to be the Titans winning this game. I believe it is going to be a close game because Chargers have a knack for keeping close games and for having a good PD. Well, not even a good PD, a very neutral point differential. So what I think is going to happen is it's going to be similar to the score of the game against the Reapers, but I do think Titans will pull out a bit. I think it's going to be maybe 50-48, let's say 48 to 30 to 38. 48 to 38. Actually, no. Yeah, let's put it like that. 48 to 38. So that's going to be the end of my prediction. I did have more things in line, but I forgot them because I didn't write them in the script. So if you would like to become an editor for me, because I am not exactly the best at this, please hit me up. My Discord is .qlitched, period. So please hit me up, and I hope you enjoy watching the game tonight. I will not be commentating that one. I will not be streaming that one, which is terrible, but there will be somebody else streaming it. So please enjoy the game, and good night, everybody.